Unived athlete.
Harry Jones, I'm a Unived athlete.
Charlie McKee, and I'm a Unived athlete.
The one that you probably use most is the Run Hydration, which is the During powder in my drinks. I find it really good in races like UTMB because quite often you'll have your poles out and your hands are taken, so it's a good way to get calories in as well as the electrolytes you need for the rest of the race.
My favorite product is the Run post-recovery mix. I use that almost every single day, especially after really hard workouts. It's the perfect mix. It really helps reduce the inflammation in my body and helps me recover faster so I can go to the next day and be able to hit it just as hard as I did the day that I had the workout.
The one that I like the most is going to be the Run Pre-Energy in green tea. I like it because it's got some caffeine in it, and it's a great option for me. Being vegan, I feel great when I take it just before the race, and it gives me a nice boost of energy and some moderate to low calories, and just fill it up in my water bottle and my pack and good to go.
I love the salt capsules, especially in long races where you're not really sure and you're sweating too much. It's perfect. You just pop one an hour and it's perfect.
Definitely the Run During and the watermelon flavour. The only hard thing with this drink is it just tastes so good. I find myself needing to kind of ration it during races. And yeah, again, it's another product, just gives me all of the energy that I need. The flavours are subtle, so I know that I can take it 2 hours into a race, and I know that 10 or 12 hours into a race I can still drink the same drink, and it just tastes so good.
Really enjoy the Unived Ultra Butter. It really works well for me on those long ultra races when you just need something to break up the gels or the sugary drinks. You need something that's going to give you a little bit more energy from a slight different source. Having a few kind of fat sources in there allows you to kind of settle the stomach, and it's such a tasty product. It goes great for training as well on those long training days. Mix it with some bananas in a training run, some fruit, or as a recovery snack after your training session as well. Really enjoy it, and it's quite addictive as well.
My favorite products are basically all of them. So I use the gels. They give the quick sustained energy. So 5-10 minutes before I know I have a steep climb or I need to push, the gel gives me exactly that predictability on when I get the extra energy.
During races, the race nutrition has changed a lot for me. When I started off, it used to be a lot of aid station food, Coke, and snacks and stuff like that. Now it's become a lot of gels, a lot of the Run Durings, the Ultra Butters, and just some solid food probably at aid stations. So, yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to all the athletes out in India. I'm really excited to come out to India. I'll be there in October running the Malnet Ultra. I have a couple athletes that I'm actually training in India that are preparing for that race. And so really excited to meet everybody. If you need coaching, I'll be out there so you can talk to me out there. And yeah, just really excited, and please feel free to come up and talk to me at any point.
Be consistent, and it takes time, as with anything. It takes a few years for your body to adapt, and never give up. Have a goal or a dream and never give up on that. It could be anything. It could be a marathon, half marathon, or it could be 100 miles or 200 miles, which no one else has ever done. It's up to you. It's all out there. You guys have to chase your dreams. Go for it.
One thing to keep in mind is to, of course, enjoy the whole experience, but also these races are slower, so you're going to spend a lot more time outside. So definitely, work on nutrition even more, because even if you're running a 50K, it could probably take people 8-9 hours. So you want to work on nutrition more and get that dialed in, because when you're running so long, you need to make sure you're fueling well.
I came out to India last year and I ran at Malnad. I had an amazing time. I met some really great people. I'd like to say hello to everybody who raced at Malnad and everybody who spoke to me before, during and after the race. I had a great time, and thank you very much for the warm welcome, and hopefully I'll come over and see you all again.
If you like any of these products, you can visit unived.in and order them online.
Namaste.
Goodbye!
Hi everyone. Let me bring up Michael. Hi Michael.
Hey everyone. Hi Isabel. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Hey, everyone joining live. Hey, it's Michael McLean here. I'm going to be the moderator for today's session. Today's session's featuring some great athletes, and it's titled "They Are Vegan and They Excel." We'll be focusing today's broadcast on nutrition, and specifically Unived Nutrition, why it works, why it's great, and some other stories around that. And you also get to meet some of the great Unived elite athletes from internationally and from Asia. So on the broadcast with us today, we'll have Harry Jones, a Unived ambassador, and ambassador for many other sponsors as well. Ruth, Theresia, who is the 2018 Asia Trail Masters champion and also a Unived ambassador. We'll have Ray Lee from Ecosys Solutions. We will also have the founder and CEO of Unived, Amit. And we'll have Chris from Asia Trail Masters joining us again, and then I'll be on moderating the whole thing. So I hope you guys enjoy the program, and yeah, let's kick it off and get going here. In our first session, we are going to have on air with me, we will have Harry Jones and Ruth Theresia.
Okay, so while waiting for Harry to come in, is signing in right now using his phone. Yeah, I can see Harry now. So yeah, enjoy the show, Michael.
Cheers. Thanks, Isabel. Hey, Harry. Hey, Ruth.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you guys?
I am feeling fine.
Pretty good.
Good. And where are you guys dialing in from?
I'm from Indonesia.
You're still there in Indonesia? What part are you in right now, Ruth?
Pardon?
Which part of Indonesia are you in right
now? In Bandung, West Java.
Bandung. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right on. And yourself, Harry?
Yeah, so I'm in Cardiff in Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, all good here. Just kind of on the lockdown like everyone else, really. So just been on the bike trainer for 3 hours. So that's quite a long time for me to be riding indoors. But I mean, it's nothing compared to your 12-hour run on the treadmill recently, Mike.
Excellent. Welcome to today, and then looking forward to speaking to you guys. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there looking forward to hearing some more insights from you too. So yeah, first to you, Harry. Understand and know you traveled to Malaysia a few times to compete in some races there, and you're currently holding the course record for the Sungai Menyala 25 km and also the TMBT 35K in Borneo. So I guess the first question is how do you feel being the unbeaten guy in the famous Sungai Menyala 25K race?
Yeah, so I think the Sungai Menyala was 50K, so it was two laps of the 25K course. Yeah, that was great. That was a really fun race for me. I really enjoyed it. At the time, yeah, it probably is even to this day one of the flattest kind of 50Ks I've run, but at the same time one of the most challenging, just because of the heat and humidity of that. Obviously, within that part of Malaysia is pretty intense, and then with the jungle terrain as well, it was really challenging race. Really enjoyed it. It's such a great atmosphere as well, with so many runners out on the course, and it's always fun racing in Malaysia.
Yep. Excellent. And then, you nailed the TMBT 30K as well, Harry. But considering that was just 2 weeks away from your first 100-mile finish in UTMB and then finishing very well, how did you manage that with recovery? And I guess the second part of that question is how did you manage the Borneo heat on that day? It was pretty hot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so going into UTMB, obviously the fitness is in a good place, and I really had confidence in the body that I'd bounce back pretty good as long as I didn't kind of injure myself or have any major kind of overuse coming out of UTMB. So I was really lucky that everything seemed to be moving really well, and I just focused on a lot of eating after a race like UTMB, as you can imagine, and a lot of sleep. It was definitely a bit of a shock for the body. I think initially I felt great, and I was really surprised at how good the body felt, maybe a little bit better than some of the 100-kilometer mountain races I'd done, but I think it was just that kind of all the emotions, all the adrenaline running through the body for days to come. And I think once I finally started getting back into like a normal maybe sleep routine and really kind of day-to-day life, the fatigue hit me a bit more then. But yeah, overall though, it was all about just making sure going through those processes of sleeping well, eating well, staying well hydrated, and yeah, and I was just doing a lot of reflection on the race as well, and just really happy with the results. So really, that kind of overall balance then really helped with recovery. But then, yeah, going into TMBT 30K is obviously a different race altogether. So I don't think I really ran too much between the two races. Just making sure the body was able to kind of move and be happy enough. But yeah, I had a great time at TMBT. It's a really beautiful part of the world, and the trails are just so magnificent on our 30K. Just lots of quite dense jungle in parts, and some really fun river crossings. So I really enjoyed it. But the heat was definitely a shock. But luckily, it was coming from the European summer, so it wasn't too bad. But it was just that humidity that you have to get used to again. But I think the body has a bit of a memory of that. So yeah, after my time in Thailand over the years, it kind of kicked in, and I managed to get through it okay.
Yep. Excellent. So yeah, just a lot of eating till you're sleepy and sleeping till you're hungry, and then body memory.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And you can't, I think as well, just realizing that it's not always just the race effort itself, it's all the training leading up to it. And with a race like UTMB itself, it was kind of the big race at the end of the year of racing for me. So it was just respecting everything the body had done up to that point, and just remembering that you need to reward yourself and be patient, and you can't just always think about the next task. You have to really kind of stop sometimes and take some time off and take some easy weeks and give yourself that time to really absorb that effort that you've done, because it's almost like, if you're going too fast from race to race to race, you're not allowing the body to really strengthen either, and to build as an athlete to get stronger from those efforts, because a 100-mile race is almost like the ultimate training session for people like us that run ultra races essentially. So you need to give yourself the respect and the time to absorb that as a positive effort, and not just an effort that's destroyed you, which we all feel temporarily, but you can come out of that stronger into the future.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Harry. We'll see if there's any more questions from the audience here in a little bit. But I'll switch over and ask you a few questions, Ruth. Your fans know you mainly as the ATM Female Champion 2018 ATM Runner of the Year as well, and also a year in which you finished your first UTMB race. So well done. I guess the first question or first thing would be going back to the day, when you were crowned the female champion in Tawera. How did you feel when, the Italian stallion, or the ATM Italian stallion, Alessandro Sherpa, got down on his knee and said, "Will you marry me?"
No. The fact is, we are not in a relationship, so Sherpa never said that marry me. So it's just a one photo session scene that created by Uncle William Chung from the Singaporean photographer. So he just created that the fun scene. So we're not in a relationship actually.
All right, so a little PR stunt. So all you ladies out there, Sherpa's still available, and all you guys out there, Ruth's still available. So no hearts broken here today.
yeah, but it's just a gimmick. So we have a lot of likers actually.
And get back onto the running side of thing. In a few sentences, a few words, can you describe kind of your journey of the year of 2018? Take us through some of the ups and downs and your favorite kind of moments or highlights.
Actually, my Asia Trail Lesson career start from 2017. So I just had to have a head-to-head point with Kim Matthews. And in 2018, I can be crowned as the female champion. So I just happy, and finally my dream come true. Asia Trail Master is part of my dream actually in Asia Championship. So I just be happy and speechless as well. I can be the people champion at 2018.
Yeah, and I know you put a lot of races on in the 18 and ran a lot of races to defend your title, hold your title. It's the whole ATM battle going on there. Out of all the races you did, what was your most memorable race and why?
Yeah, so in 2018, my most memorable race is actually in Ultra Trail Run. It was in Thailand. So I just tried to get the point. Actually, I already be the champion, but the Ultra Trail Run will be my last race. But I cannot make it. I just finish it. I cannot make it to the podium due to the hate period during the race. So it was just so terrible and just not my day, but it's just a memorable race for me.
Yep. No, and that's great inspiration to everyone out there that, even though you're not having your best day and it's not your best race and you're not standing at the top of the podium, it's still your most memorable race. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we understand in ultra race, everything can be possible. So I just try to embrace every possibility in ultra race. So that's the biggest point. Every race that I try to embrace.
Yeah, excellent. And to you, Harry, I guess 2018, 2019, you were running a lot of races as well, a lot of things on the card. Your most memorable race and why?
Wow, it's that's always such a hard question. Unfortunately, I can't hear Ruth right now, so I'm not sure if we're talking about any of the same races or not. But yeah, no, some of my favorite races, oh man, from 2018 to 2019. Yeah, so I had quite a few races in Asia. And then I usually kind of spend my summers in Europe then, doing some racing and seeing that. I think really in 2019, probably the most memorable one within Asia, we'll do it that way, would have been Cordillera Mountain Ultra in the Philippines, sort of 50 kilometers there. I really loved that area, really loved the race. It was my first time to the Philippines and ended up very fortunately staying in Baguio area for maybe up to nearly a few weeks after the race as well. So got to know a few of the local runners, and I just really love the community out there. Like anywhere in Southeast Asia really, or anywhere on the Asia Trail Masters Tour, everyone's so welcoming and so happy and joyful to be at the races. But yeah, with Cordillera Mountain Ultra, I think it was maybe those first few hours. I think I was running with John Ray and Ether, and we were kind of approaching the main climb, I guess. And it was dark at the time, but we didn't need the head torches at all because the moon was just so bright and the stars were just shining away, and it was just absolutely perfect kind of night running scenario. Just lots of vert ahead and nothing but moonlight to light us on, and a bit of kind of race camaraderie going on. So it was a really, really special race, and I think the trails there and the mountains were just really quite spectacular, and I really enjoyed it. So I guess in the kind of Asia Trail Master Circuit, that was definitely one of my favorites. And then I guess in 2019, I guess one of the races I was probably most proud of was CCC, so the UTMB races, coming 8th, I think I was. Yeah, 8th in CCC. So I was really proud of that result. The year before I'd done CCC, and I think I'd come 23rd, so it was a good result, but it wasn't quite what I was after. So 2019 felt like a bit of redemption, and I was really pleased to have kind of broke into that top 10 there and kind of ticked off kind of a goal in a big race. And yeah, again, just experience to learn from, and a really, really awesome opportunity to have had to run the race.
Excellent. Sounds great, Harry. And then hopefully we see you back in Asia soon, whether it's on the trails doing some training like you normally did in northern Thailand, or back in some races. And we look forward to following your journey as well, Ruth, once racing kicks back off again.
Yeah.
So thank you both for joining. We'll bring you back on later in the program. Now we're going to move on to our next segment, where we will bring on Amit, who is the CEO and founder of Unived, and we'll go through a few things. Hi, Amit. How are you?
Good, Michael. How are you? Nice to
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, good. You as well.
You look really fresh, as though you've just come off of a 12-hour treadmill run. So, yeah.
Well, that was on Saturday, so I've had a few days of recovery in.
Yeah, it must be the recovery products you're consuming, but yeah. Anyway, we can get to that.
It is,
Yeah.
and we'll get to that later on. So yeah, just would like you to, kind of speak to your role about Unived, some of your nutritional qualifications, kind of where you come from. Give us a background, a little bit of history of the company and some of the products.
Yeah, sure. So Unived was founded in 2010. This year we will complete our 10-year, decade-long anniversary. Of course, we wish conditions were a little different, considering what's going on in the world. But nevertheless, we get in with 10 years. I've been passionate about sports and nutrition ever since I was a young kid. I think it's my father's influence. He was a bodybuilder and a champion vegetarian bodybuilder back in the 60s. So we were brought up with a lot of heavy emphasis on good nutrition, good food, clean food, and of course a lot of exercise. So yeah, that's the history, and that's where the inclination and desire to get involved with sports and good food came about. And then after graduating, you have to work, you have to do something. So I just decided to jump off a cliff and follow my passions and follow the two subjects that I knew a little bit about, which were sports and nutrition. And then I was really lucky because I was able to bring on board a few key members who now form the core team at Unived. They joined me in the first month and the first couple of months, and I was 27. I guess they were 23 and 24 at the time. So we were a really young team, and I guess a couple of kids just trying to put our passions to work and build something. And thankfully the core team is still intact and we're all together. And yeah, we've come a long way.
No, definitely, and yeah, done an amazing job of it, and an amazing brand, and amazing, just company in itself. I think one of the things that I really enjoyed is your ethics towards the company. I enjoyed reading your letter that you sent out to basically every customer you've had about some of the stuff that was going on in India with the lockdowns and then the working from home. And the thing that really struck me was the two conditions you had for people working from home, was that they exercised an hour a day and they learned something new. And then you were going to ask them to write an essay and put it all together in a scrapbook. I think that's just amazing. And that just speaks volumes about what the company stands for and what they're out there for.
Yeah, we have to take every opportunity as a learning opportunity. And if they are able to do the things that we've asked them to do, then, they'll come out of this stronger individuals, which would help them, which would help the team. And I think it's a great initiative if we can put the stories together and get a small book out. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just going to speak to you a little bit about some of my, I guess, my journey through Unived, as well as you kind of know. I started my journey with Unived in 2018. Prior to that, I really started running ultras in 2016. And when I started, it was more completing versus competing. And then I kind of journeyed into the realm of going through competing. And once I found I started to push my body to different levels, I was having some nutritional issues. And I was having some GI problems, having problems with my stomach. Once I was pushing harder, I couldn't take much solid foods during the races. And then thankfully in 2018, I actually went on a training camp that was put on by Harry Jones and Lucy Bartholomew. And as some of the stuff that was given away to some of the participants at that camp was some Unived products. And it was some R-Run hydration and some ultra nut butter.
Yeah, Yeah, that was the old packaging, the Run series. We had a pre, during, and post. That's the product line that we started out with back in 2014, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, and I know, Michael, your name popped up on our order sheet in 2018 because I checked who orders online, and Michael, I'm like, okay, who's Michael? I haven't heard of a Michael in Bombay, and then I saw the address and I looked you up, and yeah, it's pretty cool that you got some product at Harry's camp, and I guess it may have worked for you and you followed that through. So it'll be interesting to hear your experience with nutrition prior to that, and then of course now how you treat your nutrition for training.
Yeah, and then now really the evolution is there, and then I think I've found I would almost say it secret formula or the magic potion. And what I really like is I've got a few of my favorite products here. So I really like the Elite drink mix. So I use that in all my races training. The Elite gels as well. And the best part about those for me is they're the same composition. They're the same makeup. There's the same stuff in both one. One's just in a gel formula, which is quite quick and easier to take. And one you can take over an extended period, adding it to water, kind of as much or as little water as you want to get the consistency. And that for me was almost a game changer because I had been using the R-Run hydration, but I've been mixing it with gels from different companies. And I found that was still upsetting my stomach at times. So having the two products of the same consistency, it's just like putting, the right fuel in a race car.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that's one of the things that we looked at when we were working on the Elite line of products, because, prior to this, we had the Run During, which is what you use.
Yeah.
And then we had just the regular gels, which were 110 calories a packet. And now what, of course, what we've done is we have the Elite drink mix and the Elite gel, both of which have the same makeup. So we're in India, and in Asian countries, we know it gets really hot, really humid, and you end up sweating a lot, you end up losing a lot of salts. So what this does is it gets the math out of the equation. It lets you consume liquid calories when you're sweating a lot and when you're thirsty, and it lets you consume condensed calories when it's maybe cooler outside, if you're running through the night, maybe you're not necessarily thirsty, but you need carbohydrate and you need energy. So you can mix and match and still get the same combination if you do maybe two Elite gels or 2 Elite drink mixes, or you just mix one and one. So that was the thinking behind the whole project, and I'm glad to hear that it's helped you. And so.
Well thought out, and it's an amazing concept. I love it. And then on to the next one, which is my probably ultimate favorite, is the recovery drink mix. This stuff is just liquid gold for recovery. I'm finding I'm pushing harder. I'm recovering better. I've even started mixing it in longer runs and longer training sessions after you get into that 4th or 5th hour and you just need something else in your body. You need a little bit of additional protein to get you through a longer session or to even kickstart the recovery period. And that's been a game changer for me.
Absolutely. My personal favorite product from all the products that we have is the recovery mix. And I can't talk enough about how much people neglect recovery. Although, even though it's so important, it's as important as training. You train for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours a day, but the rest of the time you spend recovering. And if you do not recover correctly, you're not going to be ready for your next training session. So it's very crucial. This is my personal favorite product by far.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, great product. And anyone listening, I would recommend you try that one definitely for recovery. Okay, let me bring in Ray Lee from Ecosys Solutions. He'll be our next guest on. He'll be with the two of us here. Hi, Ray. Welcome.
Hi, Amit. Hi, Michael.
Hi. All right, Ray, can you just introduce yourself,
Yeah.
speak to us a little bit, and then I think you have a few questions.
Yeah, good. My name is Ray. I'm from Ecosys Total Solutions. Our major is to build Malaysian as a good trail runners, because we provide coaching for major in trail running, and also we provide the nutrition for the runners as well. So that's why we need our students to become a better nutrition to intake for their performance, and also need to have a good recovery for their races and also for their trainings as well. So there is where about it. There is where we are now. We are standing in here. I can say I'm the only one in Malaysia who have trail running classes, and others majors are road running. There's a lot of them outside there. Yeah, that is where we are in Ecosystem Solutions.
Okay, thanks for the introduction. So yeah, can you share some of your views on Unived Nutrition and the running community in Malaysia, and how accepting and how popular has Unived and other vegan nutritions become, with as well as non-vegan runners as well?
Yeah, this is very interesting questions, and also very curiosity to our Malaysian community. Initially, when we started this vegan nutritions, every Malaysian there really don't know how to apply this and when to start this. And also those non-vegan runners and also vegan runners, even they are vegan runners, they doesn't know there is vegan as well, in the outside of the market. So that is where they are still new now. So the effort here is we need to do more educations, run more classes, and also give a lot of knowledge and how does this vegan nutrition helps your sports and also your trainings and also your race, and also during your race as well. And we also doing to do more approach to our those runners, potential runners. They are really wanted to be performed, and we will approach to this kind of a point of view. We not really want to be hostile. Okay. Also, we would also do a lot of live sharing on the like Facebook Live, Instagram as well, to let people know more about vegan nutrition, and also the outside. There's a lot of benefits on this.
Excellent, thank you. And yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of getting from the racing communities is both vegans and non-vegans are using the Unived product because they work, and I can definitely vouch for that. They definitely work. So thanks for your input and the input from some of the Malaysian trail community there, Ray. I think you have a few questions for Amit there.
Yeah, I just want to add up a bit how do we approach correctly to the community. Is the way that like for example like you see the Unived short capsule. Okay, especially this. There is a lot of other brands outside there, and also a lot of my runners, they have been using other brands. So they will keep on asking the funny questions. They will still asking this kind of capsule and compared to Unived capsule, what's the difference look like? So initially, I will just show them Unived capsules. You able to see the ingredients inside the case. Okay, you see it inside the case. Very miracle. You can see all the ingredients. The others one you couldn't see it, so you don't know what they're putting in, and you don't know what they are putting in your stomachs. So I would just take it out, and then I'll show them this case is made by vegetable oil. So that is inside the what they call the statements. They will say that you need, there is a limit per day. Other brands that have limit per days. So I think I mean you should understand this. Other brands have written the limit per days. So for Unived, they never mentioned. So I'm hoping that is a correct answer that they are built for vegans, so there are no harm to our stomachs and our human bodies. Is that right, Hugh?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things. So since you spoke about the salt capsules, one of the things that differentiates this product from maybe some other salt capsules is we've taken a bit of a wholesome approach to the formulation. So we also include chloride, which is a salt that many other brands may not include because they always focus on sodium and magnesium and potassium, since those are the most commonly known or commonly spoken about. But chloride is extremely important as well. And we also add plant-based vitamin D3, which is really important for your bone health and for signaling inside your systems. So that's one differentiator. Another thing is the capsules are vegetarian, they're vegan. We don't use colored capsules. So we try and improve the product from all angles, not just the ingredients and the formulation, but also the capsule which we use. And although the products are vegan, for us, a lot of our customers all across the world, especially in India, a lot of our customers are non-vegetarian. And they prefer, for some reason, they prefer consuming vegan products because they just know it's a clean label product. They know that what they're buying in terms of a supplement, if it's a capsule in a bottle or if it's powder in a sachet, they know that it's clean. It's not food that you cook and eat, or it's not a vegetable or a fruit. It's something that you're buying which is packaged. So that's where they get a lot of relief and a lot of confidence that it's a plant-based product, it's a vegan product, so it is a clean label product.
Yeah, totally agree that. So I totally agree that, especially the drink mix just now, it has been highlighted. This is really important in our Malaysian race because we have very high humid weather here. We have very hot as well, sudden rain, sudden hot sun. So yeah, some people really can't pick up gels because of the hot of the weather. So they rather to mix it in the drink. So they have a same correct amount of the nutrients into according to the same gel amounts. So yeah, this is a very great product to be put into our Malaysian runners.
Okay, thank you. I see there, sorry to jump in, right? I see there's one question here from the audience, and it was to do with the consistency of the gels. And I can say that the consistency, there was a concern of them being thick compared to other ones on the market. And they're definitely not thick in consistency if you're used to using some of the other brands. They're quite easy to take. They're easy to go down, and they don't leave you with that what I would relate to as peanut butter in the mouth feeling, where you have to consume half your bottle of water to get it off your teeth. They go in pretty well, and they go down very well as well. And one sip of water and your mouth is clean again. So hopefully that answered your question. And thanks for joining us, Ray. We'll bring you back later on in the broadcast. Now I'll bring in Chris from Asia Trailmasters to join us. Hey, Chris, welcome.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, morning, your place.
Over here it's afternoon, so I'm still in Belgium.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, well, welcome to our broadcast, Chris. Yeah, I've let you introduce yourself a little bit. I'm sure most of the viewers and people following know who you are, but just give us a quick little intro and then we can get on with it.
Yeah, well, so I'm the founder and the general manager of the Asia Trailmaster Championship Series in trail running. And the reason I'm on this broadcast again is because, of course, Unived is one of our sponsors for this season, 2020. Which of course is a very special season, as we all know. But nevertheless, we're doing what we can to bring Unived to the people as much as we can.
No, that's excellent, Chris. Any other things on your, I guess, your partnership, your collaboration with Amit, and any special plans for 2020 once we can start kicking off racing season again?
Well, the key for us is, of course, like for all the sponsors, to put the brand out there as much as possible via everything that we do in our marketing and our promotional efforts. At the moment, there are no races, but we will be putting up some live shows as well, starting in May, starting on the 1st of May, as a matter of fact. And we will also be featuring our sponsors, such as Unived, as well, in those broadcasts. We have to see a little bit how it will go. Of course, in the next weeks, we believe that next week, the last week of April, will be a very important week for trail running and also for sports in general, because several country governments will make decisions again on the lockdowns or on the measures that they have put in place in response to the corona crisis. So we have to see next week what comes out of it, and what the event organizers of the next races on the ATM calendar will tell us. Will they go ahead or not? And based on that, we will move forward. In the meantime, we're also already working on 2021. Some people actually related to Unived in India, they have already approached us for next year. So people remain motivated, and that's also good news. And like for everybody else, it's a wait and see and a lot of question marks. But at the moment, we are down to speculating, and there's not much else we can do.
No, that's it. And I think on the bright side is the mountains will be there, the trails will be there when we get out. As long as people keep supporting the races and keep supporting the good companies that support us, then it'll always be there. It will return.
And I'm also sure that Unived will still be there, because I think Unived has the wind in the back. Yep. It's not only a sports nutrition product, it's also a healthcare product, right? I think Amit can confirm that very much. What attracts me very much to Unived is, of course, the story behind it all. Amit has explained it himself earlier on a little bit. It's very attractive. It comes really from the heart, Unived, and it's much more than only gels and recovery powders and what have you. I mean, it's really about taking care of good health, and nutrition is something very important for every person walking the planet. It is underestimated, not only for competitive athletics, but also just for health in general. It should be a subject in schools, which is something that Amit, I think, also once told me in one of our conversations earlier. It should be a compulsory subject in high schools. Children should learn about quality and nutrition. I'm very much behind it. Back in the day when I was a competitive athlete, nutrition was very important for me as well. I was a little bit extreme in it even. I'm not a veganist myself, but if we know that, for example, Venus Williams, Carl Lewis Hamilton, they're all veganists. So for sure, veganists can be excellent athletes, and I'm sure that many more people will go down that road in the future, because it's just the way the global society is moving.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you for your insight, Chris. And I come from a kind of similar background to Amit, and yourself, very heavily into sports. Grew up in a sport family, and that was always something we were taught. Healthy body, healthy mind. And I think that's a key essential. So I also enjoy where Unived comes from and where they, stand on that type of platform, which is far above other businesses, companies that are out there that are exactly as you say, just looking to put products on the shelf.
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you, Chris, Amit, for joining us. We'll bring you guys back a little bit later on for the closeout. And right now I'm going to bring back on Harry and Ruth, and we're going to talk a little bit UTMB. Hi, Ruth. Welcome back.
Hi, Mike.
How are you? Still here?
Yes, I'm still here, still alive.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. So welcome back. We're interested to talk to both you guys about the I guess the little stroll around Chamonix you had. Also known as UTMB, which isn't a little stroll, as most people know. It's a pretty grueling 100-mile race that takes place in some pretty extreme conditions. And both you and Ruth took part in that in 2019, and that was both your guys' first attempt at UTMB, and I believe that was your first 100-miler, Harry.
Yeah, so it was my first 100-miler. First attempt at the full round, so I'm first attempt at 100-mile distance, but it's kind of cheating because I'd done CCC twice before, so I was really familiar with that kind of the last 100 kilometers of the course. The two routes, CCC and UTMB, are slightly different, but very much the same in that kind of last 100k of the UTMB course. So yeah, that was a bit cheating there, but yeah, no, it was good to have that familiar terrain. Made it really helpful from a psychological perspective. But yeah, it's just amazing.
Awesome. And question for you, Ruth. How did you feel in those final moments when you came back into Chamonix? You're back in the town. You're 100 meters from the finish. You can see the chute. And how were you feeling? What was that feeling when you crossed that finish line?
Yeah, of course, I was very, very happy. But it's not my 100 milers. My 100 miles race is my second 100 miles. So the first 100 miles it was in Pinang Eco. It was in 2017. So, but it is my first experience racing in Europe, outside of Asia. So my concentration was about the weather, because I live in tropical country, which is very humid. So I just need to adaptation with the weather, with everything, the mountains. So I just feel that moment really special. So I really can finish it. When everybody was there.
Yeah, excellent. And I think that leads into the next question for you, Ruth. How much time did you spend, pre-race in that type of environment in Europe or in France or in the mountainous environments itself, doing some training and things like that?
Yeah, I don't exactly count the mile, the distance. So I just went to the highest mountain around Java Island. So approximately 3,000 something meters. So I just hike up and down and collected the elevation gate. Total elevation gate within in a week. So I just covered covered the elevation, total elevation gain as time as UTMB.
Thank you. And to yourself, Harry, I guess 30 days before the race, what type of mileage, how much hours were you spending, and how much vert were you doing? I think that has a big key play in UTMB success.
Yeah, so 30 days before the race, I was actually in Chamonix for that main kind of build up into the race. So so I was in the best place to kind of be able to prepare for those kind of mountains, that terrain, and I could get on the course a bunch. So I think in terms of mileage, probably average was maybe around 100 miles to just over that, with similar kind of vertical to the race itself, so around 10,000, 8,000, 10,000, maybe a bit more than that for some weeks, meters of vertical within the week. A little bit of cycling, but I think I didn't manage to do as much cycling as I wanted because I was just exhausted from the running. But I do enjoy long days out on the trails, and when the weather, is as nice as it can be in that kind of time of the year, it's really easy. And so it probably averaged somewhere around that. Some day, some weeks a little bit more, some a little bit less. I think it's really important when you're training for such a big race not to get absolutely carried away on the numbers. You have to really start to listen to yourself and remember that, going into those final weeks before the race, you really need to cut back, taper, listen to the body a whole lot more than you think, because if you're not on that start line feeling 100% and fully rested and recovered from all that workload, you're already starting at a deficit, which is really easy to do, especially if, like me, you were in Chamonix ahead of the race. You can get really carried away before the race before you even know it. You can set off on a short hike in the morning, but because everything's so steep, you find yourself thinking, oh, just a bit more, a bit further, and before you know it, you've got thousands of meters in your legs. And so you have to really kind of be sensible, I think, more than anything, and just go into the race like that, well rested, and remember that it's not just about those kind of opening weeks into the race. It's about the years of training and the races that you've done to be able to get into the UTMB in the first place. all that experience that you've gained to kind of pull you through the race.
Yep. And then lead on into kind of a nutrition question. So what was your nutrition strategy in the race, and what were the kind of the favorite Unived products that you mixed in with that strategy?
Yeah, so my nutrition strategy in the race had been what I've been training to throughout the summer. So yeah, I use a lot of the elite stuff. So yeah, saw you guys bringing it up. So I think my favorite flavor in the elite flavors that we've got the cranberry here. I really enjoy that. So I use a drink mix. So typically what I do is try and make sure I'm having at least kind of 2 of the products per hour. So whether that's, if it's really hot out there on the trails, I'll always have a bottle with the drink mix in it, and I'll have 1 bottle of water, and then I'll then have some of my favorite gels. So again, the elite gels, I really just kind of go for a mix with the flavors. You've got to have a selection of flavors out on the trails. So again, I'll like something like the berry blast, getting that kind of fruity flavor in. And then chocolate fudge is always a favorite. Having a chocolate gel in the middle of the night when it's starting to get a bit cold is a really nice kind of pick me up. So I think there was one point in the race where I was having a bit of a low point, and I just kind of reached for 2 of these and just kind of slammed them back within a few minutes, and that definitely helped to kind of bring me out of that. So that was quite a lot of calories to take in one go. I think each one of these is 190 calories as well, so it's quite a lot of energy to be able to get in. But I think harping on to what you were chatting about with Amit there, with them being like a liquid gel, really easy on the stomach, and definitely one of the things that drew me to Unived in the first place, but something that I've always enjoyed about the products, just the ease of use. So yeah, typically I'll have kind of 2 of those products an hour. So if that's kind of a whole bottle of the drink mix and the gel, and then what I'll also do is supplement that with some more kind of real food options. So I was having some rice balls out on the trail with a bit of avocado in there as well. Just because for me it was going to be around 22 hours plus within the race, so it ended up being 24 hours. So I felt like I needed just to have that kind of steady flow of some solid foods as well. So I had some rice balls in there with some avocado, some banana. I had some ultra butter, which is one of Unived's products as well. So that's kind of like a blended trail mix. So it's really addictive stuff. So I haven't got any to show you right now because as soon as
you've ate it all, Harry.
Yeah, I eat it too fast. So yeah, I have to limit my supply of that. But within a race situation, it's a great treat to have, and it's just a different flavor. Again, I think that's something that's always important to remember. The gels work great and everything suits me well, but there'll always be a point in the race where maybe you just might want something different. So you need to make sure you've kind of got a few different bases covered. So whether that's a bit of fruit or just some simple rice or real foods in a long race like that, you need to kind of have something kind of backup plan there as well. Within shorter races, for myself, I'm the kind of guy who just always sticks with gels. So if I'm running for around 12 hours, that suits me fine. But over that mark for myself, I need some bit more real food as well to supplement that. And then within the longer races as well, now and again, I'll use a recovery mix even in the longer races, just because it's still a good hit of calories in there, but it just feels nice to get something into the system to kind of just make sure you're getting in that extra bit of food within the system really easily and really digestible. But then after the race, I hammer these, so I'll have at least one when I finish, and then one maybe a few hours later, just because it's easy for the system to process, easy to kind of get that recovery focus going again. But alongside that, being a vegan athlete, it's just lots of fresh fruits, lots of veggies, and lots of carbohydrates. Just get it all in. You've got to get the food in after a big race like that. You can never underestimate how much you could eat after a race like that, just to get your body back to a good baseline within those few days afterwards. It really makes a difference. I've had situations with races where you're in somewhere unfamiliar, or you finish at a random time in the morning, and the first thing you want is sleep. You go to sleep and you wake up, and then you realize you've not really eaten anything for the past 24 hours plus, besides the food that you've had on the trail. You start to feel that kind of effect on your recovery. So getting something simple in right away, and then making sure you get some good nutritious meals in after a race is always important. So that's how I approach those kind of races, and then after the races too.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Harry. And I think same question to you, Ruth. Your kind of nutritional strategy for approaching UTMB or most races, and kind of the Unived products you like to supplement that with.
Yeah, and in Unived line, I like. So I basically use the gels, of course. So I love the berry blast and vanilla sea salt because I like sweet, and it's really nice and it tastes not really thick, so it's just really my body really can adapt it well and very fast. And the night I use the chocolate fudge also to intake the caffeine. Also, I mix with the Alex mix. So I just mix with the water. And after the race, I really love everybody loves this recovery mix. And I also have Colox. So it's really good for anti-inflammatory. So I just had a bad injury in December, so I keep intake the Colox to help me to support my joint and also for getting support the inflammatory. So it's really nice Colox and recovery mix for my recovery periods. And for the strategy, yeah, that's the point. All the line for the nutrition strategy.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Ruth. I think that's it with the questions from me. I'll see if there's anything here from the audience or anyone watching us. I don't seem that there's many questions. There's still an opportunity to ask questions. Anybody, send your questions. We'll try and get them all answered as well. If we don't get to them live, we'll get to answer them on the Facebook replies. So I'd like to bring back everybody else now. Can we bring back Ray and Amit and Chris as well, please? Hey, Chris.
Hey.
See if we can get everybody back here. No, I think we're only going to get 4 of us on the screen. So that's all right. Just like to thank everyone for their time. And any last words or any last things to anyone out there before we finish off?
Well, maybe Amit can say something first.
This happen, and of course, Chris mentioned some pretty famous vegan athletes earlier, but I think Harry and Ruth are 2 vegan athletes that are just exceptional athletes, and they're a real inspiration to so many, including me. I've been vegan for 10 years, so to see how Ruth and Harry both perform on a plant-based diet. And this is not to do with Unived. It's even before that, because Harry's been performing at a top level before we started working with him as well. So it's a real joy to see that, and it's an inspiration to all of us. And also, Chris, thank you so much for your kind words about a couple of chats that we had. Thanks for sharing that. 2020 is what it is, but we're together for next year as well, and we'll bring you over to India, and we hope that some of the Indian trail races can get on the ATM calendar, and we can see some Asian athletes come over here and race. So yeah, that'll be great. And Michael, you as well. 12 hours again. It's just insane. It's crazy, and of course you did it for a really good cause as well. So yeah, thanks for putting yourself through that and to raise awareness about NHS workers and for a good cause. So.
No, thank you for that. I think it's well worth it. It's what we can do for the community, as you say. We get out there, let show some awareness. Let's get people aware of things, and let's get through this together. We will survive this, and we'll come out the other end. The mountains will be there, the trails will be there, and they're just waiting for us.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few questions came up. We'll try and get those answered on the Facebook. We're getting to the end of our live broadcast here. So I'd just like to thank everyone for joining. Especially like to thank Sportalicious Malaysia, Unived, Asia Trail Masters, and Ray from Ecosys Solutions, to Harry and to Ruth. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being an inspiration. And thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Amit.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay home.